All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is you too, it's Pastor Dow. We're having a wonderful time here at Straightway during the Feast of Tabernacles, but the nature of this particular video is about move over New York, because you have now been surpassed by another city as the murder homicide capital of the world, especially America. And you know what that is? Nothing more or none other than our beloved president home state, the city of Chicago, Illinois. Isn't that amazing? And they got some of the most stringent gun laws that there is. New York and Chicago. There's some of the most stringent gun laws that there is. Where you hear about all these gang violence going on. New York, Chicago, LA. You always hear about them. Now, it's amazing. I'm not saying that you have isolated incidents. Before it was even 6 months in this year, they had 711 homicides in Chicago. And you got this idiotic, stupid so-called police chief want to continue to keep taking guns out of people's hands. And only the police have them. Now, it's amazing. Wait a minute. Arizona is probably the most liberal that there is when it comes to allowing their citizens to carry guns. And they walk around with them in the open. You don't have to have a gun license. You don't have to have no permit. You can just walk with your guns in Arizona. You got places like that. You got places like Texas. You got places like Tennessee where guns, hey, you can have them. You can have them. As a matter of fact, I just took mine off. As a matter of fact, and of course, I got one right here in my office too. Right here in my office, good old XD. And it's amazing because the states that we live in, we don't have all this gun violence off the chain, off the scale, like these major population centers. I didn't say we didn't have any. I said not like they do. I mean, not like they do. But they continue to keep trying to lobby, to do whatever they can to get the guns out of the citizens' hands. Then you look at these countries, Australia, England, or Great Britain, all these countries where guns have literally been taken out of the citizens' hands, and watch out, the crime rate is just literally soaring. I think that we need to get back to the society of what we call honor and respect. Let me paint a picture for those of you who don't know. You see, in this society, we got a lot of people that's got a lot of this. They run their mouth. Given 100 years, 150 years, 200 years ago, if you ran your mouth, you were sitting out on the street getting ready to draw. Or either you got shot dead right there on the spot for dishonoring and disrespecting someone. That's the way it used to be. And I personally think we need to get back to that type of society because the women were treated more honorably. Men had much more respect for each other than they do today. People just didn't run their mouth, because you ran your mouth, you probably would have got shot in the mouth. Well, Pastor Dow, what kind of pastor are you? First of all, what kind of person are you to allow religion to manipulate your mind and your conscience from common sense? That's the question. Who told you that when you're religious that you have to be pious and that you have to be docile, dormant, dumb, and demoralized? Who told you that? Who told you that you have to have that kind of attitude? Who told you that you no longer have to be concerned about self-preservation? Preservation of family, preservation of self, preservation of property and liberty. Who told you that stuff? Where did that come? And what kind of spirit is that would make you think that you would have to get rid of defending yourself against all enemies, foreign and domestic? Makes no difference who they are. Once you pick a religion, it makes no sense. I think it's nonsensical, personally. That's myself. That's my personal opinion. But President Obama's old home state, Illinois, the city of Chicago, has now passed New York for the greatest amount of murders and homicide. And we ain't even done with the year yet. I can't understand for the life of me why you people will want to live in these population centers. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just do not get it. I don't understand. And I don't want to understand either. But it just doesn't make sense to set up in these population centers like this when you know that if you have a situation, a world without rule of law. I mean, we have no further to go than look at Katrina down there with Louisiana to see how the behavior of, number one, the police force is going to be, how the behavior of the people are going to be. Did y'all see what they did at that Superdome down there? I'm talking about human beings. Most people don't know that most humans will always revert back to an animalistic nature without any discipline whatsoever at all. And when it's every man and every woman for themselves, it's amazing. And look what they did. Look what the police force did. They went from house to house confiscating guns. Can you imagine that? The first thing that they were after. Calling themselves protecting the people. If you disarm the people, you have just left them vulnerable for every criminal, every crook, every rapist, every murderer, every robber. You basically just have left them defenseless. And the only two people that have guns when there are laws against law-abiding citizens from having guns are the police and the criminals, and both of them by nature are lawless. None of them actually obey the laws. None whatsoever at all. None. Just the other day I was going down the road, and and they always have these commercials about public safety. I saw this idiotic Tennessee state trooper chasing this car, weaving in and out of traffic and stuff. And he was coming up so fast that the people didn't have time literally to get over. Because normally when people hear sirens, they get over. He was weaving in and out of traffic and stuff, endangering public safety, probably to get somebody who was going 20 miles over the speed limit. He actually put at risk, who knows, a family who just maybe had a newborn in a car. That state trooper could have hit him square, flat out, head on. Oh, but it's all right when the police do it, isn't it? I think that people need to start seeing things for the way it really truly is. We have a system that there's a us and then there's a them. And the them, it's just like up here in Scottsville, Kentucky. Now, y'all ask yourself this question right here. Over in Scottsville, Kentucky, and over here in Tompkinsville, Kentucky, all right? They just got finished spending an extraordinary amount of money on what they call justice systems. And as Gerald Celente say, it ain't no justice, it's just us. And that's the people who work in that system. And the reason why they keep building these extravagant courthouses because it's a cash cow. It's a money-making cash machine. Extract more taxes. Heavy taxation without representation from the people, and their ability to resist is null, nil, and void. Pull them over for everything. Pull them over, find something. Upsell them when you pull them over. It's just utterly amazing. But they all have Masonic cornerstones on their buildings. Is that not remarkable?